What is going on, everybody? Happy first Sunday of the month. If you're in the US, hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. And if you're not, hope you enjoyed Feast Week. We had plenty of good college basketball over the last month, and I'm happy to talk through some of the player updates I've made in my draft class. If you're on Xbox Series consoles or PlayStation 5, just follow what I'm doing on screen to be able to access this draft class. I also have a sandbox roster available with all of the players in case you want to just test them out in freestyle mode. And if you've been tapped in with the draft class already, thank you for your support. I appreciate hitting 11,000 downloads. We're over double where we were last month. So that is amazing. If you want to continue supporting me and the channel, the best way to do that is to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already for more of this content. There's a lot of content to cover today, so let's start with new additions to the draft class. I have 3 new players in the draft class. I have Neo Avdalas from Virginia Tech, I have Kingston Flemings from Houston, and I have Cameron Carr from Baylor. Quick rundown on each of these guys. So Avdalas is like a 6'9" point guard who has ball skills, can really pass it, and is a really good shot creator and shot maker as well. Kingston Flemings is a 6'4"-ish point guard. He's really good at playing with tempo and burst, and he has really strong efficiency numbers so far. And it was a little bit unexpected that he was going to be making such an impact because I didn't really think he'd get an opportunity with such a senior backcourt in Houston. And then you have Cameron Carr. He's been shooting the lights out at the beginning of the season. At one point, he was up to like 50% from 3. Also, a ridiculous vertical athlete. He's caught a couple of bodies already, and he's the best dunker in the draft class. He's also 6'5" with a 7'2" wingspan, so really long on the perimeter. I'm still maintaining my player backlog, but there are 7 players who I'm looking to add in the near future. I'll put those 7 players on the screen now so you'll know who's next on my list to create. So now let's get into the dynamic ratings updates, talking about the existing players in my draft class and how their ratings have changed. And I think the place to start here is with the big 3 of this draft class. You have Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, and AJ Dybantsa. So Darren Peterson, I didn't update at all. He hasn't played enough for me to have a comfortable sample size to edit his attributes. He played against Mizzou today. He had 17 points, but we'll see how he tracks coming back from the hamstring. On the other hand, Cameron Boozer has gone up by 1 to 81 overall. He's been carrying the load for Duke this season, carrying them to big wins against Arkansas, Michigan State. I was at the Kansas game. So really in the main places he's grown and where I miscaptured his ratings were in his steal rating, his block rating, and his offensive rebounds. And I gave him a bit of a deduction in dunk and free throw. And I also changed up his badges a little bit. I removed Rise Up from him, and I replaced Rise Up with Post Up Poet and Versatile Visionary. I think, honestly, the main thing I observed while watching him in person in that Kansas game is just how amazing of a passer he is. They were doubling him the entire game, and he was whipping the ball from the post once those doubles would come to the corner, and he was just on point, on target, snappy passes, and that's exactly what the Versatile Visionary badge is all about. For AJ Dybantsa, he remains at 80 overall. I was actually at the BYU UConn game in person, so I got to see him torch UConn in the second half. In general, I thought he was really disruptive at the top of the full court press that BYU was running as well. He got a couple of deflections, generated some steals for his teammates. But for the full season, I don't think he's been an amazing defensive playmaker as far as generating stocks for his team. I also feel like his free throw rate isn't as high as I thought it would be, and his free throw percentage is a little bit down from what I thought it would be as well. Another thing is that his 3-point volume isn't super high right now, so that's making his 3-point rating suffer, even though the percentage is about mediocre or so. So overall, it's pretty close to what I expected from AJ as a prospect, so he's not taking any major hits to his overall rating. I think the other freshman that I have to talk about in this conversation is Caleb Wilson. While I don't think he's in the same tier as the big three, I think he's pretty clearly the number 4 prospect on the board right now. Last time I checked, Caleb Wilson is leading the country in dunks by a pretty good margin. It's absolutely insane what his highlight reel has been like. So I boosted his dunk to an 88. I gave him posterizer. I boosted his aerial wizard badge. Made sure he had pogo stick, rise up silver. So he's gotten all of the athleticism badges that fit his playstyle. He's also drawing fouls at a ridiculous rate. He's hitting his free throws at a pretty decent percentage, and his passing has been excellent. He's had a great high-low game with Henry Vassar, and it's been really fun to watch. So he's probably been the biggest riser in the draft class, going up 3 overall to 77. He hasn't been perfect though. Other than dunks, his scoring hasn't been great in the paint. He's at like 34% on finishing at the rim on non-dunks, so his layup took a big hit, and his three-point shot also hasn't really been there consistently, so that's down to 54. The top returning player to college basketball I want to talk about is LeBaron Philon. Now that Mark Sears is out of the picture, LeBaron has taken the reins of the offense. His passing has leveled up from last year. His three-point shot is at a completely different level. He's up 11 points in the three-point category, making him one of the 5 biggest jumpers in that category in the draft class. His steal rating has suffered a little bit, but the offense has outweighed the small ding to his defense, and he's up +2 to 75 overall now. Overall, your biggest risers this month were Caleb Wilson, LeBaron Philon, and Christian Anderson. I'd also like to throw Cameron Carr and Kingston Flemings into that because these guys were not on any draft boards at the beginning of the year, and now these guys are being talked about as first round and lottery, and in Flemings' case, maybe even top 10 picks. Your biggest fallers for the month are Braden Burries, Cam Williams, Boogie Flan, Chris Senak, and Darius Acuff. Those last 2 guys, I don't even think are playing that bad. They just took a penalty because their draw foul went down a lot. And obviously, freshman attributes are going to be the most volatile of all of them because we're getting real stats on these guys for the first time. I also think I should acknowledge the fact of team context and how that affects these ratings. So we have players who are playing in double big lineups who maybe are playing power forward or small forward when they played up in the previous year. So oftentimes in a case like Yaxel Lendeborg, he's playing the 3 now. He played the 4 at UAB. His rebounding numbers suffered, so that took a hit in his rebounding ratings. I still have the rebound chaser badge on him because I know what level of rebounder he would be if he wasn't playing with Morez Johnson and Ade Mara on the front line. So that affects a lot of these players. I also made a lot of badge changes, but there's 5 guys I want to talk about specifically to make this a little shorter. First is Braylon Mullins. I know he hasn't played a ton yet, but this is going more off of his reputation. I boosted his slippery off-ball badge to silver, and I also gave him set shot specialist. Not a badge I love giving to freshmen out the gate, but I think if anybody deserves that badge, it's Braylon Mullins, again, based on his reputation. Koa Pete, I gave him post-fade phenom. He's not your traditional post-fadeaway shooter like a Michael Jordan or Kobe, but the way he shoots is like with 2 feet in the paint. He'll shoot over players on the interior, and he's really good at that, and he has great touch. I boosted his shot close, I think, to 84 because I think that's one of his go-to shots. Cam Williams, sadly, I removed both of his badges, which were slippery off-ball and limitless range. I get really frustrated watching Kentucky and watching Cam Williams out there for Kentucky. I don't think it's his fault, but I just see him standing on offense a lot when I feel like the team can use him in his movement shooting a little bit better. He's also shooting not so great this year, and I docked his three-point rating down to 70. So hopefully that bounces back and it turns around because I really like the archetype that Cam Williams is as a player. Isaiah Evans, I gave him slippery off ball. His off ball movement has been great this year, both around the arc and on the interior as well. He's been cutting very well in the half court, and Cameron Boozer has done a really good job at finding him. And then the last person I want to talk about is Ade Mara, and this dude is just ridiculous. The passes that this guy throws are just crazy for a 7'3" guy. He has versatile visionary now, and he has break starter. He's also one of the better rebounders. He's improved his defensive rebounding specifically from his time at UCLA, so he now has rebound chaser as well. I also made a lot of ratings changes to potential underneath the hood, as well as the boom and bust percentages associated with the players. So some names I would keep an eye on are Nate Ament. I'm a little bit lower on his high-end potential. Tunde Yesufu and Chris Senak Jr. I made riskier prospects, meaning their bust potential is a little higher. And then Isaiah Evans, Thomas Houck, and LeBaron Philon, I increased their potential a little bit. I'm a little bit more invested in those kinds of players. And then there are a group of players who I think are more 2027 candidates than 2026. Maybe they haven't had the opportunity just yet or haven't been thriving this year specifically. So think of guys like Isaiah Harwell or Cam Williams or Braden Burries. I significantly boosted the bust potential for these players, and I reduced the high end as well for these guys. Player hot zones, those are still a work in progress. I need to get more data, and I think we just need more time. There's 14 different hot zone locations, so I think given that it's only been a month of college basketball, we need more time to pass before I'm even ready to define hot zones for players. But here's what I have so far. I'm pretty happy with how it started to come out. And then this will start to leak into my draft class as well once I have this fully stood up, and I'll make this publicly available for you guys to reference as well. There are plenty of non-badge, non-attribute updates that I made as well, but I wanted to keep the focus of today's video on the basketball element of the game in the draft class. So this is going to be it for today's video. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.